My 3-year-old son is deaf, and we just had a visit this morning from his signing teacher, who is also deaf herself. She recently had cochlear implants fitted, and while we were talking/signing she said, "I'm sorry, I can't concentrate. I can hear a horrible constant noise. It's not stopped the whole time I've been here." Turned out it was the rain on my conservatory roof. Cochlear implants do not replicate noise the way you might think. It sounds garbled and unrealistic. This is why doctors push for infants to receive them, because they will grow up thinking everything is normal, and that's just how things sound. People who are deaf for a while and get cochlears have a harder time adjusting. Being deaf isn't a bad thing, and as a community they don't want to be seen as disabled. The only thing I cannot do is hear. My girlfriend is not deaf, but she is hard of hearing, which for her means that she can't hear high-frequency sounds. She recently got hearing aids that amplify the frequencies she can't hear, and was shocked to find out that birds and crickets chirp, to the point that she thought the birds were trying to attack her, and was horrified that we were surrounded by millions of bugs, when I explained what the crickets were. My girlfriend is not deaf, but she is hard of hearing, which for her means that she can't hear high-frequency sounds. She's all about that bass, no treble. I was born with tons of fluid in my ears, and only had very slight hearing at best. When I was 6 months old, I had a surgery that put tubes in my ears to drain the fluid. My mom says when I came home from surgery, I went to my toy box and shook every toy in it to see what sounds they made. Honestly, it wasn't that serious, but did lead to some auditory processing issues, and I had to see a speech therapist until I was 7. Crazy what a difference 6 months of hearing makes that early on. 2 of my siblings had to get tubes in their ears at a young age. My brother had to see a speech therapist. As kids I had to do a lot of the speaking and translating for him, but now he in his 30s and only speaks with a small impediment. Not personally, but one of my friends basically said, "How the fuck do you people stand all this noise?" You learn to filter. I'm half deaf. In crowded and noisy places it's gonna be weird for me if you yell from a distance. No triangulation. Question: if you lose your hearing, can you still have tinnitus? That would be a nightmare to have ringing in your ear without any other sound to mitigate it. Quick Google search brought up. Being hearing impaired doesn't exempt you from these kinds of sounds, unfortunately. Deaf people are more likely to have tinnitus. In fact, it's thought to be linked to the damage that caused the deafness itself. Again obligatory, not me, but my dad progressively went deafer as life went on, and was almost 100% deaf by around age 20. He got a cochlear implant when I was around 7 years old, put them in, asked my mom, "Are the kids always this damn loud?" and proceeded to take the cochlear implant off so he didn't have to listen to my little brother and I yelling. Always thought that was funny. Honestly, being deaf when having young children probably makes parenting more tolerable, haha. I swear I read somewhere that most people expect the sun to make noise, but for the life of me, can't seem to remember where. If Teletubbies is to be believed, it makes the sound of a laughing baby. One of my close friends in high school has a younger sister, who used to be deaf before she got cochlear implants. We were watching a silent movie for a film class, and her younger sister thought that all movies made noise. And #X200B. She ran out thinking she was deaf again. Meanest prank ever. Can you believe most deaf people don't know that erections make sounds? Boing. I was deaf for a long amount of time, but when I got some machine to fix it, I'd what it's called, but I was very annoyed by everything. The thing I least expected to make noise was just walking, and water flowing. Do you prefer the sound of hot water, or cold water? I honestly thought the sun would make sounds. If space could transmit sound, the sun would be by far the loudest object in the solar system, as observed from the surface of Earth. It. People who answer the question, people who were born deaf but gained hearing, what makes noise that you thought was quiet? SMH. Title is such a great twist on the concept, but everyone ignored it. Edit. Obligatory thanks kind stranger. 3. I'd what I'm gonna do with this exorbitant wealth: oh. Indeed, I'm surprised to read so many top posts that has nothing to do with the question, only 2 so far. I'll keep on scrolling a bit. Outlets. Seems like everyone is answering the reverse. My friend was got his hearing at age 6. He swears to this day that he thought flowers would make some sort of noise, and that's what attracted bees. I had a cousin who was born deaf and got their hearing fixed at the age of 9. Don't know how, but surgery I think. They didn't realize that everything made noises. Wind, water, breathing, chewing, and they were annoyed for a few weeks, but got used to it. Cochlear implant most likely. You probably should have put the serious tag on this. Not me, but when I was in high school a bunch of kids would meet in a nearby no man's land, and smoke cigarettes before school started. I spent most of my mornings, loudly, talking to my almost deaf friend. One day he showed up, and said he had a new hearing aid. I didn't have to yell at him to get him to hear me anymore, yay. Few minutes later he asked what that noise was. I asked which noise, listening and hearing nothing out of the ordinary. I don't know, it's like a weird beeping, almost musical, really bizarre, but actually kind of pleasing. Took me a minute to realize my man was hearing birdsong for the first time in his life. Was a pretty cool moment. That's a great story. It. People not understanding or answering the question. I can't remember what I expected to make noise, but first time I had hearing aids, I found out scratching my skin, brushing my hair, and opening the door made noises. I got freaked out by birds as well. Kitchens are really noisy. I remember trying to figure out a bizarre sound to describe it was bubbling eater. Oh, and when people smile, it makes a noise. When people smile, I want to hear about farting. I remember a celebrity talking about it on a talk show, and she was talking about how shocked she was by how loud peeing was. My son got hearing aids just about 6 months ago. He had a mid-range hearing loss at about 50% total loss. He was shocked at how much noise rain makes. He also was surprised to learn that when he rubs his hand across fabric, leather seats, clothes, etc., that it makes noise. Poor kid, he had to discover background noise at 12, and then go through the process of making it background noise. The biggest change for him was learning that people have different voices. He could generally tell male from female, but he said that basically women all sounded the same, and men all sounded the same. I guess bitch was completely absorbed by his hearing loss. It. People putting surprising sounds instead of things they expected to make noise, but didn't. I read once that when people born without hearing hear for the first time, they are often shocked that the sun doesn't emit sound. I suppose it does look kind of noisy. Chewing and chomping food, the most annoying noise ever. I had no clue people could make so much noise while eating. I've never been deaf or hard of hearing, but I agree that chewing and swallowing are some of the grossest sounds. It. Nobody understands the question. Having sex. Asterisk macaroni noises asterisk. What the fuck? Exclamation. Macaroni noises. Lol. I expected the sun to make a sound. It does. It is constant trillions of nuclear bombs going off. But sound cannot travel through the vacuum of space. It needs air or another medium. I remember in a post like this before a guy commented that he thought the sun made noise, not anything loud, just like a low rumble. He said he was disappointed when he found out that we can't hear the sun. Not deaf, never been deaf, but when I was younger I thought nothing would make a sound. Asterisk splotch asterisk. I don't really have much to add to this, because I'm only hearing impaired, but goddamn the world is noisy. There's nothing better than coming home, and taking your hearing aids out, and finally letting your brain relax. But the thing that surprised me the most was how loud toilet flushes are, and damn crunchy leaves in the fall. But crunchy leaves are the best, haha.